All right, let's talk about a big challenge, learning a new programming language. But we're not talking about a slow crawl, we're talking about a sprint. This is your guide to the 30-day Python sprint. So let's just get this out of the way. Can you really learn Python in just 30 days? I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, maybe even a little impossible. But what if you had a roadmap, a really clear one? Well, that's exactly what this is. Think of this explainer as your map, your high-speed tour guide. We're going to break down that entire 30-day journey piece by piece. So yeah, let's start the clock and jump right in. Okay, so where do you even begin? Day 1, the starting line. And you're about to see just how simple and how satisfying that first step can be. Behold, the most famous line of code in programming. This is print hello Python, and it's a tradition for a reason. You type it, you run it, and boom! Just like that, you've written a real Python program. It's that little taste of success that proves, hey, anyone can do this. So once you've got that first win under your belt, the rest of week 1, days 2 through 7, is all about learning the grammar of the language. You know, the fundamental rules and pieces that everything else is built from. First up, variables. Honestly, the best way to think of them is just as label boxes. You have a box where you can stash a number, another box for some text, and maybe another one that just holds a simple true or false. It's how your program remembers things. Okay, so you've got data in your boxes. Now what? How do you get your program to actually think? Well, that's where conditional logic comes in. The if-else combo is basically a decision path. The program asks, is this true? If not, it moves to the next question with elif. And if none of those are true, it just does the else part. It's a really clean way to make choices. All right, now for one of the most powerful tools in your toolkit, automation. A for loop is your best friend for repetitive tasks. Let's say you have a list with 100 fruits. Instead of telling the computer what to do 100 times, you just write one for loop, and it'll work its way through every single item on that list. Now, a while loop is another way to repeat things, but it's a little different. It doesn't really care how many items there are. It just keeps on going and going and going, as long as a certain condition is true. It only stops when that condition finally changes. So here's the bottom line. You use a for loop when you know exactly how many times you need to do something, like for every single fruit in a basket. You use a while loop when you have no idea when to stop. You just know the condition for stop. And to wrap up your first week, you'll meet the different containers Python uses to hold groups of things. You've got lists, which are ordered and you can change them, tuples, which are ordered but you can't change them, sets, which are all about unique items, and dictionaries, which are super powerful for storing connected data, like a word and its definition. All right, we're heading into week 2. This is where you really start to level up. You're going to go from writing small, one-off scripts to building properly organized programs. This is where your code starts to look, well, legit. And the secret weapon for staying organized? It's the function. A function is just a named chunk of code that does one specific thing. So instead of copying and pasting the same lines over and over, you just call the function by its name. It makes everything cleaner, shorter, and way easier to fix. Okay, deep breath. We're about to tackle a big idea, object-oriented programming, or OOP. But don't worry, the blueprint analogy makes it surprisingly simple. A class is the blueprint for something. Let's say a car. An object is the actual car you build from that blueprint. It's a really smart way to model the real world with code. Now, you're going to hear about these 4 pillars of OOP. They sound kind of fancy, I know, but they all solve one huge problem: keeping your code from turning into a giant, tangled mess. They help you reuse code, protect your data, and hide all the complicated guts of your program so you can focus on what's important. And now for week 3. This is where you get the keys to the kingdom. You're about to tap into Python's true superpower, its absolutely massive ecosystem of free libraries. This is the moment you stop building everything from scratch and start standing on the shoulders of giants. First things first, you'll get to know pip. That's the magic command that lets you install all these tools. Then you meet the heavy hitters for data. You've got NumPy for lightning-fast math, and pandas, which is basically like having super-powered spreadsheets right inside your code.
But what good is all that data if you can't see it? That's where a library like Matplotlib comes in, letting you turn numbers into insightful charts and graphs. And what if you need more data? Well, something like Beautiful Soup can go out and automatically pull information right off of websites for you.
Thinking about building for the web? Python's got your back, mainly with 2 different flavors. You've got Flask, which is the minimalist choice. It's super flexible and gives you all the control. Then you've got Django, which is the batteries included option. It comes with everything you need right out of the box, perfect for bigger projects.
And just like that, we're at the finish line. The final week, day 30, the payoff. This is it. This is where all those different pieces you've learned, the variables, the loops, the functions, the libraries, finally click together to create something real.
A perfect first project is what developers call a CRUD app. I know it sounds a little nerdy, but it's actually super simple. CRUD just stands for the 4 basic things most apps do. You create new information, you read it, you update it, and you delete it. That's it.
So let's just zoom out for a second and look at that arc. In 4 weeks, you go from knowing nothing to building a working app. Week 1, you learn the alphabet. Week 2, you learn how to form sentences with functions and OOP. Week 3, you discover the public library and all its amazing pre-written books. And in week 4, you write your own story.
So there it is. The map is laid out. The 30-day journey from a simple hello world to a real, functional application isn't just a fantasy. It's a clear, achievable path. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?